Welcome to the Storage Stories podcast, where Denee Burns and Jason Koonin tackle self-storage news, trends, education, and share their expert experience in both the U.S. and Canadian markets. This podcast is for rookies and seasoned veterans alike, as we all try to grow our businesses and leave our mark on the self-storage industry.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Storage Stories. I'm Denee Burns, and I'm with Jason Koonin, and we are the Birds with Sunbird Storage. Today, we will be interviewing Brook Rice, who is from Sunbird Storage, and she is one of our facility managers. But before we go to Brook, let's talk about some recent news in self-storage. So, Jason, do you want to kick us off?
Sure, Denee. Yeah, it's been a very busy month here in July. We've got some exciting news. We recently, about 2 weeks ago, opened our flagship location in Greensboro on Battleground Avenue. You'll hear a little bit more about that later. It's a beautiful 5-story facility, Class A, right in the heart of Greensboro, sitting there kind of towering above a Target store. So it drives a lot of traffic, 4-lane road, and it's off to a great start already on the lease up. So that's been exciting. And we've also kicked off another development project. So working with Williams Development Group, they've broken ground on another Class A facility, 4-story in Clemens, North Carolina. So lots of development projects going on in North Carolina, and we're excited to see the brand continue to grow. It's picking up steam here in 2024.
It sure is. That is so exciting. I cannot wait to see those when I come to visit corporate soon. So yes, very exciting news. So other breaking news in self-storage, the Yardi Report. So this Yardi Report was published in June of 2024, and it is encompasses the May rent changes for 2024 across different cities in the United States. And as we all know, rental prices have been declining, and prices have been declining in self-storage. So just looking at this report, on a national average, it looks about climate controlled have been declining about 6%, non-climate controlled not as much, about 5.5%. Any comments that you want to make about that, Jason?
Certainly very competitive market, hearing some of the price declines in Atlanta. I assume the climate control market is heavily dominated by REITs, so we know that the price war continues on the street rates. One of the things I've noticed in our market over the past 60 to 90 days is prices do seem to have bottomed. They fell pretty dramatically in the second half of last year. Street rates were really falling across the country into December and January. Then they were kind of flat. But as we've moved into April, May timeframe, they're definitely increasing pretty strongly. So that's been a very welcome sign. So hopefully we put in a bottom on street rates.
Absolutely. Everyone's waiting for that. So on a lighter note, some fun self-storage news that I found. Warren RV and Storage is offering vehicle maintenance and upgrades for tenants in conjunction with Go Home. So apparently it looks like you can actually get vehicle maintenance at their self-storage facility through a third company, a third-party provider that they have partnered with. So that's kind of interesting. And I thought I saw something also about drive-through self-storage. So as you know, drive-through is available for many other types of businesses. And so apparently now it has entered self-storage. So that was kind of interesting. But let's head on over and talk to Brook Rice, who is our site manager at our new flagship location in Greensboro on Battleground Avenue, which recently opened July 2024. So Brook, we're so happy to have you. It's so good to see you. You've done an exceptional, stellar job at the Winston-Salem location. So I know that they brought you over now to the Battleground location to take those skill sets and your expertise and apply it there so that we can lease up quickly, which is great. previously, Brook managed, like I said, the Winston-Salem location, and that is currently charging premium prices, selling on a value add. It has leased up well and garnered a 4.9 Google rating. Wow, that is incredible. Great job, Brook. So proud of you and the team there. And so Sunbird, you're the site manager now at Battleground, the new location, and it's great to have you. So just wanted to ask you a couple of quick questions about yourself. What is your background?
Well, so I've been in storage for a little over 10 years now. I previously worked at 2 other storage facilities. And I've been at Sunbird for a little over a year now. A big difference in companies.
Great.
What are Denee? Let me ask Brook to elaborate a little bit more. When you say a big difference in companies, I know you'd worked for a couple other North Carolina storage companies. What would you say, or maybe like one or two of the biggest differences, either in the facilities or in the operating strategy?
The main difference is the company itself. It cares about the clients, and that's important because that allows me to get to care about the clients also. With the as far as the prices and the rates, the 21-day grace period is nice. That's something I've never seen before, never heard of, and that gives tenants time to, if someone does fall behind, it gives the clients time to catch up. Lets them get another paycheck under their belt before fees start added on, and that's a big help.
All right, Jason, did you have any other questions you wanted to ask her?
No, Brook's got obviously a lot of storage experience, and we were fortunate to be able to add her as one of the first employees to the Sunbird team.
Yes, great. Well, I have a couple of questions for you. So I just wanted to ask you, in your opinion, what is the number one reason that tenants rent self-storage?
I found that the number one reason that they rent self-storage is a lot of times it's for renovations. That's what I've seen a lot at the Winston-Salem location is renovations. People also that are moving and looking for another home, and just in that process, some people store for hobbies. That's a lot too. They store their crafts there. They store their what they do for their fun stuff.
Are you seeing what kind of mix are you seeing? Are you seeing many commercial or business tenants? I know that. Obviously, as you mentioned, you've got a lot of folks that are either doing the renovations, they're moving, or even students. But how about on the commercial side?
On the commercial side, I've noticed at Battleground has been excellent. I've got some really good companies in there already that that they'll be there a lifetime. As far as there's quite a few hospitals there, and I've had 2 of the different hospitals already, rent very large units, a couple large units to store their equipment there.
Well, that's great. How would you describe your service? Obviously, you've been in the business for quite a long time. How would you describe the Sunbird service customer experience? I get a lot of questions from investors and owners who are considering hiring a third-party property manager, and some of them will say, well, aren't all self-storage facilities the same, right? You can rent a 10 by 10. It's just, empty space. It's just real estate. I view the business very much more as an operating company. But how would you say you differentiate the service level versus other storage facilities?
Well, we want to make this an experience, a good experience for you when you do come for storage, because there's different, of course, there's different reasons, why it could have been death or or anything like that. And I just want to make it a good experience for everyone that comes there. I want them to feel welcome, and I know that we're there and that we care about whatever's going on in their life, and that we can accommodate them and however we need to, and just make them feel welcome and safe and secure, and know that we will take care of them.
Do you have any examples? Obviously, there's an increasing trend in the industry where more storage facilities are going remotely managed. So there's nobody on site to help answer questions. There's nobody to provide service. There's nobody to talk to. Are there any examples you can share of how you and your staff have gone above and beyond? I mean, maybe surprising people with the kind of the work that you do?
Yes. So yeah, like everyone has a different story, of course. And just one particular that's dear to mine is someone who's going through an estate sale with family, and she's a little edgy about it and insecure, but we do everything we can as far as to make sure that she knows that her stuff's safe there at Sunbird, and no one's gonna mess with it. And I will put an extra lock on her unit if she would like me to, just to give her that peace of mind.
We know that people buy from people they like. And I just have to say, when I initially met you, Brooke, instantly liked you. You just have a very warm, friendly, welcoming demeanor. So I think that is definitely a key asset, and just wonderful that you bring that to the table. And so when you're interviewing people to work at the facility, what are some of the skill sets and attributes that you look for hiring somebody for your team, since customer service is so important?
Yeah, so definitely the customer service has got to be, exceptional. To be able for them to hold a conversation, to be able them to, to understand, what the person's going through and why they need storage, to be compassionate. I need them to have a great sales background. And to be able to provide with them with what they need, not more than what they need or less, but what they need, because we've got choices, and we can get them into what they need.
Yeah, it's really interesting to hear you talk about looking for sales experience. I think certainly, we've seen the operations of other storage companies, and increasingly, I would say the trend is not only in the remote managed, but even in cases where there is some on-site staff, many large operators continue to route all the calls to a call center. Mm-hmm. So they're relying on some type of centralized call center to be their sales force versus, more of a point of sale local salesperson. So I think that's another significant differentiator. We place a significant premium on having really highly skilled salespeople in our stores versus in a call center. Really, really interesting. So certainly when it comes to the qualities and training you're looking for, that leads to the types of reviews that you're able to get. So Denee mentioned earlier that your site in Winston-Salem, your first site you managed for Sunbird, has a high number of reviews with an average rating of 4.9. How do you encourage tenants to leave reviews?
Well, we just we ask them to leave a review when they get time. We have a now a QR code where they can they can do it right there before they leave. And we don't ask them to leave a whole life story or anything. Just give us a good review on what they thought with our customer experience and what they feel about Sunbird.
And for the other operators that are listening to this, I think not only getting reviews is critical, but to the extent possible, if you can get customers to take photos as well of your facility and leave those, I think Google really likes reviews with photos. What do customers tell you about your reviews? Do they mention that they saw that you had really good reviews? Do you think that the reviews that you have on Google contribute to your sales?
Yes, absolutely, because that's I believe that's what all of us look for now when we're scrolling is the 5-star. That's what you go by these days. And I have had clients, come and say, well, your reviews were great. You had some, great stories about you and your staff. And we do.
Yeah, you got to work really hard to get those reviews.
Yes, you do have to work really hard to get those reviews.
So let's talk a little bit about the pricing. Denee mentioned at the outset that your locations have premium prices, which is commensurate with premium service. So at Sunbird, we guarantee that although the price might be a little bit higher, we guarantee that we won't increase rents for 365 days. We've seen competitors offering steep rent increases to unsuspecting tenants within, as little as 3 months, sometimes, 2 to 3 times a year. So customers who may not be familiar with self-storage may think that your prices are a lot higher. Are you getting, number one, are you getting a lot of pushback on the actual price? And number two, how do you address some of those objections?
So I haven't had a lot of pushback on the price of our facility. It's a Class A facility. They know when they walk in the door, it's nice, it's clean, there's someone there to help you. So I haven't had any issues with much issues with the price. And the 365 days of not going up on the rent is significant in someone's eyes because, as we know, it happens at everywhere that the rent goes up. And so that's another way that your client feels secure with you and your company.
Yeah, so having the prices fixed versus, more of the bait and switch, that's going to lead to fewer customers that want to move out because customers will often get upset if they get a pretty quick rent increase. So the next question has to do with customers that might be looking to move out. They might come to you and say, Brooke, I need to move out. I can't afford my unit anymore. What are some techniques you've used with customers in the past to maybe get them to stay longer and to increase your retention?
All right. So some of the things that I've done in the past is, just kind of talk to them and see what's going on. If we can downsize a little, if I can reduce the price a little to help them out, that's not a problem. We want them to stay a lifetime with us, and so we can accommodate as they need. Everybody has hard times, and we can help them out.
Yeah, the downsizing, that's really a great strategy. I mean, it seems obvious maybe to some of the more experienced operators, but if you're new to the business, a customer who might be in a 10 by 10, but they're not using all their stuff and they're paying $150 a month, maybe they can go down to a 5 by 10 for $100 a month. You can save them $50 a month. You'll go over to their unit, say, hey, can I take a look at what you've got? Maybe you can fit into this smaller one or maybe an upstairs unit where it's less expensive. So that's a great technique.
I wanted to jump in here just real quick as well and say that statistics have proven that 60% of renters are women. And speaking from a female standpoint, I know I would pay a premium to get increased security, increased cleanliness, and having a facility manager on the premise, I would feel much more safe and secure and know that my items are being watched over and well taken care of. So people don't necessarily buy just based on price. They may say that, but at the end of the day, there's other attributes that they're looking for when they come to actually, signing the contract and closing the deal and buying from someone. So anyways, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, that's very important because, like you said, we do have a lot of women, but also the the men that come in, they want to make sure that if they send their wife, that she's okay. And I always over elaborate that we are very secure, safe, good location, lots of security.
Yeah, and I think customers, just as a general statement, will feel safer, especially if they're at the site during business hours and there's people there, right? Versus going to a more remote facility where they might be the only one on site.
Yeah, being there on site really ensures that everyone's safety and comfort level, because people really do like that the customer service is there and that we're there. They can get in touch with us after hours, and that makes people feel secure.
And if they have any issues, certainly if you've got a fully staffed location, in our case at least, the way our operating model is, they can call the store directly, right? So you're not getting put into some type of call center. You can call, you can live chat, you can get your issues resolved quickly without having to go through a call center or a phone tree or anything like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that feature. I know I visited several facilities, and just talk to different customers and ask them, different tenants, why did you rent from this facility? And they always say it was the person. It was the person behind the desk. They sold me. I like them. I know they're going to take good care of my items and of me. So I agree with you. It's a great strategy. And Jason wanted to ask, do you want to speak to the nonprofits that Sunbird is engaging with and the social responsibility?
Sure. I think we'll have a future episode dedicated, I would say, specifically to that. But, to touch upon it, I can tell you that, with Sunbird and certainly with Bluebird, which is our Canadian brand, we encourage all of our site managers, all of our site staff to get involved in their communities and to really help as many people as they can. So if somebody comes to them in need, if there's a nonprofit organization that's looking to grow, if we can alleviate their cost of storage, they can use that money to help more people in the community, right, if they're not paying for the storage. So I actually challenge a lot of our staff to give away as much storage as they can. And if you're giving away 10 or 20 units at your location, then you're making a pretty significant impact on a lot of organizations that now can use those funds to put them right back into the community. So let's talk specifically about maybe some of the organizations that we've gotten involved with, Brooke, in our Winston-Salem location. You've been there for about a year, and I know there's a number of great organizations, but for the viewers, maybe give them a flavor of some of the ways that you've gotten involved.
Okay. Yeah, so that's another wonderful thing about Sunbird is that that I am able to help others out with storage for the nonprofits. I have one specific one that is dear to my heart, and Recycle, and it's a gentleman who repairs bicycles, and lots of bicycles, and he repairs them and he gives them to people in the community that need them, children, people that are coming out of prisons or institutions. He's a wonderful man, and we were honored to be able to comp him a unit for his new bike, into the bikes that he fixes. He brings over to us, and he stores them there until they're ready to give out. And we've gotten really close. We go to cookouts together for his events. Sunbird always shows up for those. We've got just a really good relationship, and he is under a very large nonprofit organization here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Love Out Loud, and we are willing to help any of those that are umbrellaed under that nonprofit also.
Yeah, absolutely. So we would encourage organizations in our communities to reach out. We want to give away more units, not less. So if there's a way that by using our storage you can help your community, then please reach out to us. There's a lot of ways to get in touch.
I love the heart behind that. And that's actually a good segue into we are actually speaking at the Self-Storage Association Fall Conference coming up in September on social responsibility. So that's going to be a fun presentation with shelter movers as well, charity storage, etc. So really looking forward to that, and we'll be sending out more information about that.
I'm certainly excited to be in Vegas for that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Brooke, for your time today. It's been a pleasure and a joy to see you, hear from you, and just talk about customer experience, which is very, very important in self-storage. It is a key competitive differentiator and just very important, just the right thing to do for our tenants and for our customers. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
If you're liking the content, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, hit the thumbs up button, and also we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and please share out on your social media to your audience or someone who you think might benefit from this. And we look forward to hearing your comments and feedback and any topic ideas on what you would like to hear discussed. So thank you again.
That concludes this episode of the Storage Stories podcast. Be sure to share and subscribe as we continue to tackle self-storage news, trends, education, and personal experiences from the competitive world of self-storage.